Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Elisa Rogers with Simply Southern Recipes by Rocket City Girls. Today we are going to do Southern flair on German classics. And our very first thing that we're going to start is our version of Sauerbraten. We're not using beef, we're using good old pork shoulder. So, only thing you're going to do right now is get you about a 2.5 pound pork shoulder, put it in your crock pot. That's all you do. You cover it up, cook it on high for 3 hours. We got our meat in here. Now once this is cooked for 3 hours, you're going to go back, you're going to take your meat out, you're going to pull as much of the fat, always put the fat side down. It'll cook that fat quicker and reduce it to basically a grease. After 3 hours, you take your meat out, you put it on a plate, and then you pour your grease off, because you don't want your Sauerbraten being greasy. And then you'll add the rest of your ingredients. Alright guys, it's been 3 hours, and we have rendered probably about 2/3 of a cup of fat. We poured it into a coffee cup. We'll get rid of it later. Put it over there. Got our meat sitting here. It's going to sit there for a few minutes. We've got, let's see here, 14 ounces of sauerkraut, 1/4 of a cup of Dale's steak marinade, 1/2 of a teaspoon of caraway seeds, and then we have got 1/2 of a large yellow onion. Let's get this started. This is going to be phenomenal, and it's my husband's favorite meal of all time. Let's get rid of this. Let's sprinkle these onions. This really, really makes this dish out of this world good. And like I said, we always get everything in the bowl. Not everybody was raised with a silver spoon in their mouth. So, there we go. There's our sauerkraut. All over. There we go. Now, 1/4 cup Dale's seasoning marinade. This absolutely makes it. And like I said, all we have in there is meat. There's absolutely no water, anything. Our caraway seeds, this can do nothing but enhance the flavor. There we go. Now we're going to put it back on, not on high, we're going to put it on low, and we're going to cook it another 6 hours. Hey guys. While our Southern Sauerbraten, or pork and kraut, whatever you want to call it, is still cooking, we're going to go ahead and get some beans started to go with our meal. First thing you have to do with dried beans, spread them out, pick the rocks out, and any bad bean that you might find. Put them in a colander, rinse them really well, and we're good to go. We're back. Got my beans rinsed. This is about 1 pound of beans. And they're good and rinsed. Gonna pour them in my pot. Then I'm gonna add 2 beef bouillon bouillon cubes. Well, I think I'm going to add 2 beef bouillon cubes. It's giving me a little bit of grief right now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there's one. There's the other. Now, that's the first quart of water. Second quart of water. And there's 3 quarts of water. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this on high. And we're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to boil it on high for 1 hour. But keep another quart of water right next to your beans, because you're going to have to constantly go and check on them, stir them, and add more water, because you don't want the water boiling out and your beans to stick to the bottom and get burnt. This is what it's supposed to look like. Cook it for an hour. Okay, we're back. We've been boiling them for an hour. What we want to do, I've already got 4 quarts, a gallon in there of water. Just keep an eye on the water, because every once in a while you have to put a little extra in. But if you keep an eye on them and stir them, and you want them soupy. That's the way that we enjoy. And these are different pinto beans than what I normally make with the ham hock and all that. These are seasoned to go with the Sauerbraten. So we start off with 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Our next is a half of a teaspoon of crushed red chili flakes. Then we need a half of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half of a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just going to swirl that around in there to get everything off. Salt to taste. You've already got the beef bouillon in there, so you don't need a whole lot of salt. Now, I have turned this down to medium. Well, I'll say between 5 and 6 on my stove. Mostly towards 6 though. We still want it to continue cooking down so it'll get thicker and thicker. And keep it like that for about the next 4 to 5 hours. Checking like every 30 minutes and making sure you stir. Alright, let's get to our next project. Alright guys, we got our Sauerbraten almost ready. Probably needs to cook another couple of hours. Then our beans. So all in all, we've probably been cooking this pork roast, I would have to say about 6 hours. It probably needs to cook another 2 before it's completely done. Okay, well, the beans are almost done. They've been cooking. We boiled them for an hour. We cooked them on medium high, another 2 hours. they probably lack about another hour before they really start breaking down and getting soupy. Our southern Sauerbraten is done. We're just sitting in the crock pot on warm. Next on the agenda, we're going to get our German potatoes done. I've got 6 potatoes cut up here. I diced them, put them in some cold water, let all that starch release, rinse them, did it again. Now we're fixing to drain them, and then we're going to get them into the electric skillet with some onions and some bell pepper. Fry them up real pretty till they're golden brown. Put a little seasoned salt on them. They're done. After that, cornbread. We'll be back in a minute. We got our grease hot in our electric skillet. Now you can do this on the stove if you want to, but we like using the electric skillet. It gets it done much quicker, and my hubby is hungry. So here we go. There. I'm not a big fan of popping grease, but that happens sometimes. Now, what we're going to do is just not even bother these until we start seeing them slightly getting golden brown around the edges. Then we'll start flipping them around. And at that point in time, we'll add the onion and the pepper because they cook much quicker than the potatoes do. Alright, it's starting to get brown. So, next thing we do, start flipping our potatoes around so they can get brown on all sides. And these really take no time at all, and they're so good. This is, I'll go ahead and tell you, this is my husband's favorite meal. Begs for me to make this all the time. Now, let's add our onions and our peppers. Get them put into the oil so they can start cooking down. And this should be ready in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll take them out. Of course, drain them. And put a little seasoned salt on them. And they are ready to be devoured. Alright, look at that. Gorgeous and delicious. They're ready. We're going to spoon them out into our colander here, let them drain, then put them in an oven-safe container and put them in the oven on warm until we're ready to eat. Southern staple, cornbread. Goes with everything. We've got 3 cups of cornmeal mix. Not regular cornmeal. You have to have the mix. 1 egg. Large egg. Tablespoon of oil. Okay. There. And as my granny called it, I don't have buttermilk, I just have sweet milk. So we're using sweet milk today. If I can get the lid off. I didn't cut that off. Alright. Now, add that. Now I've got my oven preheating to 400. And it should take about 40 to 50 minutes for it to get good and golden brown. And it'll be ready to cut up and serve. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Got my iron skillet covered in shortening. You don't want your cornbread sticking. And you always make sure that your pans are treated and oiled well. Never wash them, ever. If you do have to wash one, then you have to come back and you have to treat it again. What is it that they call it? Conditioning it?
Seasoning.
Seasoning it, yeah. I went completely blank there on that one. So, our potatoes, I put some seasoned salt on them. Put them in a casserole dish. They are sitting on top of the stove. Beans are done. Southern Sauerbraten's done. We're going to get our cornbread done. And then we'll show you the meal when everything is complete and we're ready to sit down and devour it. Hey, son, look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday dinner, done on a budget, can feed you up to 3 days. Pinto beans, of course, spiced up pinto beans for our German, flair here. Some fresh sliced tomatoes, always go perfect with any Sunday meal. German fried potatoes, our Sauerbraten, our kraut that was around the Sauerbraten with the onions in it, cornbread, my husband's favorite meal. Please stop by and see us again for another recipe. Share us and subscribe, please, and we hope to see you back soon.